Chapter 30. Life is a gift for you. O Great Spirit, how deep have you been hiding?
Just because I was deep does not mean I was hidden. Rather, the Spirit remains in nirvana, among heaven. And there, in that blissful state of truth, I offer the earth holy communion. At any moment, you may request union, as there is no exclusive group chosen. But at any moment, we can be united to dispel the illusion of separation. When you wake up from the dream, two become one. And so, shall we go onward to fruition?
Said the great spiritual being. But where are we heading? Asked Sir Beast.
Upon the inner journey, where the light reveals the truth. Mysticism would call this Doth. And although the path to this state requires we release everything, the journey often requires a sacrifice through immense hardship and suffering. But beyond such intensity, we find that in this place, all are united as one. If we consider the three worlds, you know there is something hidden that unites and holds together the three columns. Many scriptures, stories, myths, and legends have been written about this place, and so we find ourselves at the heart of all lore. A place where Moses reached God, where Jesus rested after the Passion, and so anyone who suffers greatly, anyone who finds death, then after the suffering, this is where the soul goes next. We are at the core of wisdom and understanding, and some consider this place an empty slot, and so the formless spirit can meet here, whether you are in a body or not. Oh, there is that great mystery that words label as the eternal God. And if you wish to dwell in this gateway, then you pass through Doth. It is pure love, held in formless space, where invisible light passes through emptiness. How else could you describe the light of our world? It shines endlessly and cannot be caught. Yet in the same way in which the selfless give, the more we offer to all beings, the more we are fueled by the purity of love,
she said. And what are we doing here?
This place corresponds to the image of God, the likeness that is within all beings. But as you've seen upon the earth, so many humans have caged their soul when the body behaves as if it follows a legion of demons. Yet many souls are hungry for peace, but instead the body craves more than it needs. Such demonic forces are obsessed with greed, only thinking for themselves. It appears they'd rather keep their personal opinions and beliefs, even if it destroys the world by consuming all the resources, and some even celebrate this, as if capitalism is God's true creed. But what they don't see is life's only guarantee. Whatever we do comes back to us. As both of you have found, the Spirit doesn't care if you get rich, famous, or even what you believe, but rather, the goal is to set our spirit free,
she said. There was a sort of invisible gate, which was a spiritual state, and upon the emergence of such a sacred space, it felt like a hidden element came to lead us like a captain takes a boat across a great lake. My soul used this body while we followed the Great Spirit into this portal, which brought us through infinity.
Notice how this takes more than belief. Many modern ways of religion have lost touch, but still they remain united in the concept of God. Many worship the messenger, or the message that relates to their beliefs alone. But somehow, the spirit of religion knows that we each have a duty to link ourselves back to the infinite nature of God. Yet how can the infinite source be confined by a word when God exists within all creation, and so every moment is that which is heard,
said the Spirit. Sometimes what the Spirit said seemed to occur telepathically, and I couldn't be sure what Sir Beast had heard from it. Why, I just found him in this cavern, but had he and the spirit had a similar or different conversation? And about this gateway, why would it be hidden or buried?
Doth is fixed in the soul with the powers of concentration and memory. These powers rely upon one's recognition and sensitivity to help us fulfill our most meaningful potential to emerge through our consciousness. Thus, we are in the middle ground between wisdom and understanding. Here we are centered between that which is above and that which is below. We are right in between that which is secret or hidden and that which can be known. Think of it as a connection between intellect and emotion. Some see this as living between being and non-being, between someone and no one, form and emptiness. And so what word can label that feeling which lives within the heart of us? The closest word may be the intuition,
said the spirit. So then why do we use words or bodies to cover our spirit so that it is concealed?
Words will always remain ever curious about the mystery. Imagine leaving home and going off on your own to roam. There's a great mystery about this. We all like such journeys, but aren't they frightening indeed? Since the soul is always in a state of growth, this is the place after suffering, which is known as pure peace. A portal just after hope is lost among the living. And so this is my secret gift to all beings, which is like a divine cup of spiritual nectar. And that is why this portal appears to be hidden,
she said. Then how come the world gets caught in so many problems? Asked Sir Beast.
Maybe because our soul is curious as to how we'll solve them. Or maybe because many of my adult children don't realize what they are doing. And that's why it takes leaders who will come forth with courage and love. I think it is time for someone new to lead them,
said the spirit. How? Asked Sir Beast.
Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Yet still, it is not our personal will that gets us here, but rather it is all the grace of the divine,
she said. What are you getting at?
It will all be given to you.
The spirit paused.
Isn't it fascinating that my human children love to seek knowledge, but knowing is limited, and without experience, such knowledge means nothing. Only when you combine knowledge with action can we get to wisdom. So by giving away the fruits of your labors, you have found the center of our soul. You can arise here when you become one with nothing. The more you have, the more you will be blocked. And the more highly you think of yourself, the more likely you are to put yourself above God. Yet once you go through a process of emptying, can you see who you truly are? A spirit of the soul is like infinite light. It carries nothing, yet its fire stretches infinitely far. To dwell here means you now have great power at your fingertips. And why, you may ask? All because you have surrendered control, for that is the true task,
said the spirit. All this while we'd been in what felt like an empty room. Was this a tomb, or was this the absence of all symbolism? Or was this inner chamber of a pyramid, or could this be a womb? In this emptiness, whatever emerged in the mind was invisible, yet it was conscious and aware. For example, I thought of lavender, and then I could smell it on my nose. The mind went on to imagine a grayish silver. Then the room changed into that color. Now I pictured it as pure violet with speckled gold. Then the walls would change, however I imagined.
It seems only the purest magi can live so close to the heart of our soul. In this ascent through the tree of life, we find the journey is an absolute test of faith, which is the mystical point of complete surrender. Only here can you enter through the hidden door and reach the timeless state to escape the wheel of existence. This secret door is like a veil, which conceals the supernatural truths to the primordial lens of the human eye. But as the old saying goes, my doorway opens for those who die before they die,
said the spiritual being. I think what you're saying is that the correct use of free will is not possible until the ego has become a servant of the higher self, and then the higher self should be responsive to the divine will. In this space, we are free from the layers of our worldly personality, and so through union with this place, we detach from the way we want things to be, and once we surrender, we are welcomed into the heart of wisdom, said Sir Beast.
I call it forgetfulness because it's almost impossible to remember all of this. That's why I give life freely, so that my children can make the spiritual pilgrimage. And if you stayed in this place forever, then what good would it be? You've got to go back out into the world and use what you've discovered to teach the rest of humanity,
she said. But we will forget. Again and again, I'll forget before I remember.
But in remembering, you will spread the light of wisdom and share the illumination with all others. That's why you must forget, in order to remember. Love all, serve all, and when it comes to the way we alone wish it to be, just simply surrender,
she said. Did we get lucky to find this place? Is that what happened? Asked Sir Beast.
Only the brave, the very foolish, or the purest in heart can scale the rocky face and straddle the enormous chasms to reach this place. Very few would risk embarking upon the sublime reality of this conquest,
she said. But I don't think I understand. How does this room transform?
Yes, darling. This is the link between the worlds of spiritual force and the worlds of form. Yet as it exists, it does not exist, for the human mind cannot realize what this is. How could the mind aspire to the highest if it is not something the mind can know? And so we use imagery, storytelling, and speculation. Thus we try to consider Thoth intellectually, even though our mind alone could not understand the supreme reality,
it said. But why can't we alone know all of this? Asked Sir Beast.
Because you are it. You are the mystery you're trying to discover. You can take the journey all the way, only to realize you're right here. And so the real question remains, how do you make sense of our true nature? It said.
But mother, or father, whoever you are, if we are of the world, and the world is within you, my friends, my family, and even my enemies, then what are we to do to help assist all of reality? Look at what's happened to our world. What hope is left for the human man? As it appears right now, the world is overrun by demon heads that are ruining the earth as they cause terrible destruction.
Aha, my boy. Now is a great time to create from your imagination. Since you are connected to all of them, and they are connected to you, who will go on to help the beings maintain the good world? Let us create a world that is soulful, pure, and true. So what will we do? Will you go back and help relieve the suffering of your aching brothers and sisters? How will you help remind all beings of this discovery? Maybe all it takes is a few good souls to help us remember,
she said. When I looked around, it felt as if I had just opened my eyes. There I saw Clancy, Stitches, my family, my friends, my ancestors, and all the great teachers, past and present, by my side. Everyone was here, and even my enemies had found this place too. Some of the souls were holograms, as if their place was reserved for a future date. But Clancy and Stitches were right here, as it was clear that they had also discovered their own path to this place.
One more thing. I have a gift from the divine. Here I gift you the keys to your very own mind,
said the spiritual being. She gave us each a set of keys, and there were no rules or guidance that came with this gift. With the means to unlock my own mind, I didn't know what I should do with it. After that, I envisioned a pure land, where I began to wonder if Sir Beast and I thought together in harmony, because a moment later, the room disappeared when we found ourselves in a deep dark cavern reality. We were in the heart of ourselves, thinking of ways to benefit all of humanity. I sensed there was a forest above us and to the east, and that we should go to find that place. With the heart leading us, the way to our true nature was to give everything away. After all, isn't that what death makes us do anyways?
Death is our soul's saving grace,
said the great spiritual being. But why must we die?
You have died from the old way, and now I welcome you into a new life. Death is the gate within the self that few dare to approach, let alone open before the body dies. It is the threshold where fear is calmed by pure potential, and beyond the door dwells the spirit whom many name as angels. Yet the wise know that angels also carry weapons, for they are the purest warriors of the ancient truths who bear the wisdom in service of every living being,
it said. Once we reached the very bottom of the darkest cavern, there came a sudden realization when the mind needed to observe our present situation. At times, the path was difficult to manage because of the mental confusion upon the path to fruition. We had to keep taking steps ahead without knowing where we were going. This was the essence of pure surrendering. Each brainwave could get swayed into old thought patterns, which would lead to actions that might be fueled by my ego's personal ambition. Yet somehow, even this journey felt like an illusion. Only the great spiritual being seemed to appreciate it as a grand lesson. Now, what was my soul missing? What was it that we were in search of? Who controlled that evil force in the world, and how should we defeat it? And what if this dysfunctional condition was not a mental illness, but rather, what if this entire path was a profound education or curriculum? For so long, our world believed we must exterminate evil in others. But what if this external wickedness was only a figment of our imaginations? It was so dark in this cavern, and the only sound was our footsteps following the great spiritual being. Sir Beast followed the spirit while I stumbled behind them. Even though I had touched some truth about purity and wickedness within myself, I couldn't bear the silence, and so I began to express my personal frustration. I don't understand why the faithful are tested and tormented, while some of the more cruel people find themselves in positions of power and success. The world's economy incentivizes those who lie, cheat, and steal, but it buries those who are humble and honest. Have you ever heard a world leader say, "I am right about everything"? Or maybe you've heard an interview of a prime minister announce that they speak the truth while everyone else lies. Why are these wicked people our world leaders, who only point out the evil enemies beyond their own country's borderlines? As they condemn their external enemies, they don't realize how they've become a force of evil who condemns entire countries, as they state how this foreign wickedness must be displaced, banished, or die.
Leave them to eat and enjoy themselves, and be diverted by false hope. Soon, they too are going to know,
said the spiritual being. But why are the sincere seekers of truth punished by such a difficult path? It seems that the more heartfelt we are, the more we are banished into darkness.
Same goes with the brilliance of light. It burns alone among the darkest night. The universe will surely test you, sometimes with fear or hunger, or maybe the loss of wealth. But I give good tidings to those who are patient. Be one of my brave souls, who, when disaster strikes them, say, "Indeed we belong to God, and to God we shall return,"
said the great spiritual being. But why?
How can we know who we are without being tested? It is time to go beyond opposites,
she said. The longer we hung around the great spiritual being, the more we stumbled upon profound insights.
In order to find the most beautiful treasure on earth, we are called to go deeper. And if we are lucky, we find ourselves in the darkness where we can go beyond opposites,
said the spiritual being. I am so grateful to have found such an honest teacher. Only in this darkness can we appreciate the light. But what would it mean to go beyond opposites? And maybe a better question is this: how did the great spiritual being come to find us?
Your mind has many questions, and if you like, I will answer them,
paused the great spiritual being. It seemed she could hear me, and so as we walked forward, we observed its words as it responded.
I call many, but it is those who are rare that are brave enough to find me. There is a great barrier called fear that stands between the illusion and the truth, and so only the courageous go beyond opposites, for they are truly ready,
she said. What does it mean to go beyond opposites?
Let us first examine what it means to be lost in opposites. When we look into the world, we see leaders who enforce a country's one-sided beliefs. Even when such a leader says their aim is to destroy wickedness, the destruction they bring forth blocks the highest good, which reveals that they are hypocrites. On one side, such a leader would say that they alone are good, and the evil force is out to conquer them. But as they attempt to destroy evil, they find themselves resorting to the wicked means of violence. When we do not understand the nature of our own fears, we fail to recognize how our inner evil will trick us into destroying others. To go beyond opposites means we can feel the fear but not be persuaded by it. When we try to destroy fear, we are misled under a cloud of our own ignorance, which operates from within us. This cycle of trying to destroy villains continues on, while it's repeated throughout all of history, and so it seems to continue to spawn more wickedness. The true remedy to solve this holds space for both opposites. Can you see that we must realize how our minds have been infected by such a wicked sickness? And this striving to be the good ones is a very serious condition. It seems the whole world is trapped in a spell of ignorance. Yet when we go deeper within our own selves, there is a cure. But what is it?
She asked. Is the cure to go beyond opposites?
Here we can relate with people wherever they are, not where we wish them to be. Consider religion. If you try to force someone into your beliefs, they will wonder, why is this person trying to convert me? Why don't they listen and understand to what I believe? How can we find the place that lives beyond duality, where we come home with all fellow beings into unity? This is the true universal faith, to help all beings, regardless of their religion. And so we must be brave to move beyond opposites,
said the great spiritual being. I hear you, and this all sounds perfect. But if we are to move beyond opposites, then how can those who are still trapped in ignorance become convinced?
We must allow everyone to be where they are, even if they're trapped in ignorance. Be careful to be rational in a world of madness. The integral man does not become a king, he is lynched.
said the great spiritual being. So many powerful leaders claim that evil exists over there, in a neighboring territory or country across the sea, and so our leaders tried to banish anyone who disagrees, never realizing that evil exists as it covers our own soul. I believe it was Nietzsche who said, "He who fights with monsters should look into it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into the abyss also gazes back." Only by taking a journey can we discover the truth that evil is not in one specific religion or in some foreign population, but rather our potential to become evil or wicked exists within ourselves as well as everyone. Evil is that force which tries to convince us that we alone are good, and because of our righteousness, we can bomb our neighbors or starve an entire population instead of finding a way to embrace and love everyone. That source of evil is disguised in self-righteousness, and only pure wickedness would claim to be correct about everything. True evil is the man who seeks to live life like a king while destroying the rational man. For so long, I lived the majority of my life unwilling to look within myself and diagnose such a wicked condition. But now, as I seek to understand why such wicked influences exist, I find myself right here, upon a journey so deep that led into a dark cavern. This is the place where fear is confronted, and today I understand how evil tries to emerge from within us all.
"Come now,"
said the great spiritual being. As we followed the spirit through the darkness, I thought this was a dead end until we heard the sound of a mighty waterfall. Yes, there was water up ahead, where crystal clear purity crashed down. The great spiritual being took a watery form and held a staff at the edge of a giant cliff. But then I noticed something unusual. The water was not falling downward, but rather it was floating up instead.
"The journey you are on has brought you beyond opposites. In one way or another, you detached from the physical plane of reality, where you willingly descended into the depths of our innermost subconsciousness. The spirit of life is like a river, and now it is time to raise you up,"
said the great spiritual being. The soul was parched, and once I entered into the water, it felt as if my long-lost soul had been given the nectar to feed a fresh heart. Yes, a fresh start. Sir Beast and I went upwards through the water, the same way vapor finds its way into the clouds. And have you ever noticed how all life goes together? Somehow this entire process came moment after moment, without a need for any words to be spoken out loud. Somewhere within time and space, we touched a place of purity. We were one with creation and all of eternity. We went up and out, within then through. The water ascended and carried us only after we had touched the bottom, when we emerged near the surface of Earth as our lives were renewed. On our way to the surface, there was something so bizarre in the sky when we looked out from the entrance of the waterfall. Exotic birds twirled through the sky as they danced the ballet of their own soulful migration. Sir Beast and I had nothing left except for the keys to our own minds. But those beautiful birds, why, upon the sight of them, I was mesmerized.
Now that you have your own keys, you can unlock your greatest opportunity. But have you ever wondered about the nature of your truest identity? Ever been curious if things aren't always as they appear on the surface?
Said Shruti. What do you mean?
What was once a sunflower used to be a seed. A bird was once an egg, and the same goes for you and me. Within our awareness lives the real secrets of creation, and this entire experience can be a miracle if only we discover the gift of appreciation. When you see that we are all one, you will realize how no one and nothing is separate from us,
said Shruti.